Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam. Expats in Vietnam, particularly Hanoi, have a wide variety of hobbies to pursue, such as sports, music, or cuisine. In our program today, we'll get to know about a fairly extraordinary hobby for expats in Hanoi, which is philosophical discussions. Our guest today is John Dallas, an English educator and a philosophy enthusiast in Hanoi. Hello, John. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
First of all, could you share with us the reasons for you to live and work in Hanoi?
Sure. So the reasons are a little complicated, actually. My girlfriend is Canadian. She stayed as long as she could in the United States. I stayed as long as I could in Canada. So we had to go somewhere where our visas could be neutral, right? And Vietnam is really accepting of anyone with a foreign passport, particularly to teach English. So we knew that we wanted to be together. We came out here so that we could save some money before grad school. She studied art in college. I studied theater. Not the most employable professions that exist. So yeah, we also came here to pay off our college loans and a place to be together. We did not expect how inviting this community would be. We did not expect what fertile ground Hanoi would be for self-development, for the development of any of our hobbies. It really has blown us away so far in exploring for these last 2 years.
In your opinion, what are some interesting things about Hanoi in comparison with other cities that you have been to?
Hanoi is unlike any other city I've ever been to. One of the things that is most striking as soon as you get here is the roadways, of course, right? That I'm so used to having very organized, orderly roads back home. And I think it's a really nice metaphor, actually, for the way that Hanoi functions in general. Hanoi, it feels like most people do not obey the road laws to a T. They don't obey them perfectly. But you have just a better understanding of where everyone is and what everyone wants to be doing, and you're just very aware of everyone else. Driving in America is very individualistic. It's just you following the law, just you alone in your car. Whereas here, it feels like this big group all migrating together in one direction. It's a big hive mentality, you know, like a flock of birds or like bees in a hive. Here, people really do it. I think you have a much better understanding socially of everyone, what everyone wants, what everyone needs than we do in the United States, and that's really neat to feel.
You are engaged in various social groups to connect people and cultures in Hanoi. Could you give us an overview of those groups?
Many of the Westerners that I know here are teaching English. I train teachers to teach English, and it's very interesting. Many expats are able to survive here working a minimum of maybe 10 hours a week. Some expats, you know, do work 40, 50 hours a week if they want to. There are the opportunities, but if you want to survive on 10 hours a week, you can. And the things that people are able to do to fill up their time outside of this 10 hours a week, pursue whatever dream they have, whatever group they want to create, they can create it here. So I run 3 major groups right now. One is a weekly meditation group in Hanoi based on the teachings of the Buddha and Goenka. A Vipassana meditation group. And the second is something called Hanoi Nerd Nights. This was started by me and my friend Tyler. This is very fun. So every other week, we choose a theme, some topic, something like ego, or love, or journey, or misunderstanding. And about 25 of us get together every week, and some of us prepare presentations, lectures, puppet shows, poetry, art, anything to display for this crowd of people. And we have an evening just focused on creative outlets, creative understandings of this topic. And then also, we recently started the Hanoi Philosophy Forum, and this has grown so large in just the last, 8 weeks we've been having it now.
Members of the Hanoi Philosophy Forum gathered in a regular meeting on April the 2nd, 2017. Every Sunday, they meet to talk about the world's famous philosophers such as Nietzsche, Foucault, and Lao Tzu. Founded by John Dallas in early March this year, The forum has expanded quickly and attracted many Vietnamese as well as foreign people. During this meeting, the presenter is Nguyễn Mạnh Tuấn, a young Vietnamese man who is studying philosophy in the United States.
Aspect of their works, but also the medical ones. Khi mà về nhà thì mình cũng phải tự nghiên cứu về triết học để cho cái bài luận cuối kỳ của mình năm sau, và cũng là khó khăn khi mà nghiên cứu triết học một mình thì cũng chán, cho nên hàng tuần đến khoảng độ thứ sáu hoặc là thứ chủ nhật lại có một nhóm họp và nói chuyện với nhau về triết học, thì cái mà mình suy nghĩ hết cả tuần cũng được thoát ra và được nói chuyện với người khác. Lúc đầu mình tưởng là ở Hà Nội những người nước ngoài chỉ có là người du lịch thôi, nhưng mà có những người muốn sống ở đây và muốn học tiếng Việt và muốn biết cả về triết học của Việt Nam nữa, và đương nhiên là cả văn hóa Việt Nam nữa, và muốn sống ở đây lâu dài. Và đồng thời có những người Việt rất muốn tìm hiểu triết học phương Đông và cả phương Tây. 3-4 năm trước, 5 năm trước không có những cái nhóm này hoạt động, hoặc là mình không biết. Và đến bây giờ thì không chỉ có nhóm này mà còn nhiều nhóm khác nữa. Không chỉ có triết học mà còn tâm lý học và xã hội học đều có hết.
So the Hanoi Philosophy Forum is one of your major social groups here. Why did you decide to set up this forum?
So I studied theater in college, and I took many philosophy classes. I was hoping to be a philosophy major, but really got interested too late in my career. I've always been very interested in reading philosophical texts, and I knew that there were many other people, both in the expat community and in the local community, who were very interested in exploring these texts. And we thought about opening up a book club, but having the focus be specifically on philosophy, I think, is scratching an itch that a lot of people have right now. And to be able to have an opportunity to be with a group of people, to be with your friends, and discuss the topics that are really dear to your heart, I think is really important for everyone to get to experience at some point. Yeah, I really enjoy leading this group, but much like I was saying, we try to allow it to be run by the members as much as possible. When a member wants to focus on a particular philosopher, we allow them to do that.
So could you share with us some interesting moments from the forum's meeting so far?
Last week, last Sunday, we had our second presentation on Carl Jung, who was the father of psychoanalysis. And we had a woman, a South African woman, her name is Hanneke, and she actually studied quite a lot of Carl Jung. She had undergone Carl Jung psychoanalysis herself, very familiar with the topic, and she was a lecturer in Africa. And she led us through about an hour-long workshop on Carl Jung psychoanalysis. So exactly how you would go through analyzing a person's dreams. So we had, I don't want to get too into details here, but we had a girl who volunteered to tell us all about her dreams that she's recently been having. And Hanneke had led us through exactly what kind of questions to ask, what kinds of paths to pursue when analyzing her dreams. That was very interesting.
And what do you think of the participation of Vietnamese people in the forum?
So this was something that was really important to me, because in other groups that I've led, I've really noticed that because my own contacts are mostly Western, that it's been mostly a Western audience, but there seems to be a lot of interest from the Vietnamese community as well. So right now, we're about 60% expat and about 40% Vietnamese. And I've been really happy with those numbers. Because it's all in English, some of these books are very, very dense for non-native English speakers. But there are translations available. We try to make it as accessible to everyone. And we also try to make sure that even if a person doesn't read the text, that we have a presentation, we have a guide, we have someone who's still able to help us understand what was being said. We try to make it really accessible for everybody. Right now, I've also been surprised by how participatory all of the Vietnamese members of this group have been. In other groups, I felt as though Americans are very, very loud, and I feel like Vietnamese people, in my experience, have just been a bit more quiet. But here, they're very outspoken, and when they have an idea, they really take the opportunity to express themselves. The one who's actually been most active, he studied in California for a number of years, and when he does philosophy, he practices in English. It's very interesting, having two different languages, the Vietnamese language and the English language, it's very difficult to translate these texts sometimes. It just works in a very different way. I foresee there being many more Vietnamese philosophers in the future.
Finally, what is your plan to further contribute to the community of philosophy enthusiasts in Hanoi?
I'm definitely trying, again, to allow this group to be propelled by its members. Sometimes the conversations that we have, they get a little off course, so sometimes it's my job just to bring us back to the conversation, bring us back to Lao Tzu, bring us back to Nietzsche. But I really want the group to evolve using as much member input as possible. So I'm trying not to direct things. I want to use this as a platform. We're very excited to be able to host anyone who's currently working on any philosophical project. So if anybody just wants to get on Facebook and find us, just type in the Hanoi Philosophy Forum. You'll certainly find us on there. We are reading many of the old philosophers, like I said, Lao Tzu or Confucius or Carl Jung or Friedrich Nietzsche, but if anyone is producing philosophy currently, we also want to use this as a platform to get some feedback, to get a response, and to start a conversation about these ideas. Yeah, so really looking forward to having more people contribute their own work to this group too. I'm very excited if we're able to get some Vietnamese philosophers into our group. I know in Saigon, there's currently there's a professor of philosophy who is well known for his translations of Hegel into Vietnamese. As far as new Vietnamese philosophy, I've been looking for it.
Well, John, once again, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing some profound insights.
I really enjoyed the time. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all for our Sharing Vietnam today. We look forward to receiving new interesting insights into Vietnam and the world from the philosophical perspective. Thank you so much for watching and see you again next time.